Hello everyone, this is Deepa Parekh. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Learn Anywhere, Anytime. Hello students, today we'll start with the first chapter of the Maths 7th standard book. The first chapter is Integers. So let's see what is integers. Integers are the collection of numbers which contains whole number and negative numbers. The integers are represented in a number line. Now how do we draw a number line? Say for example 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and say 6. On the left side it comes -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6 and so on. So basically this line is called a number line, and the numbers which belong to the right side of the 0 are called positive integers, and the number which belongs to the left side of the 0 are called negative integers. So here both the positive integers and the negative integers together are the combination which are mentioned on the number line. So now let's start. Here if say for example we write, now how would we compare which is the bigger number and which is the smaller number? The numbers which are represented with the negative sign are smaller numbers compared to the one which are on the right hand side, and they are the bigger numbers. Say for example, if we need to write the ascending order of this format, how would we do that? It would start from -6, -5, -4, -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and so on. So here whichever number is on the left side, we start the ascending order from there. In the negative numbers, in the negative integers, the higher the negative integers, the less their value is. So here the lowest value from all these numbers is for the number -6, and the highest valued number here on this number line is +6. So now let's learn some basic funda before we start the addition of integers, the subtraction of integers, the multiplication of integers and the division of integers. The basic fundamental details is very important for this. So let's start with the basic one. Say on a number line, when we add a positive integer, we move to the right. That is, say for example, here on a number line, when we add a positive integer, we will move towards right. In the same way, when we add a negative integer, we move towards left. When we subtract a positive integer, we move to the right. And when we subtract a negative integer, we move to the right. So this we saw as a basic thing. Now let's see with the example. as I said earlier, that when we add a positive integer, we move to the right. That is, say, suppose if we add 3 positive, which is a positive integer, if we add 3 with the 2, we move towards right and we get the answer as 5. So here we move towards right. Now let's see the second point. When we add a negative integer, we move towards left. Say for example, here we are adding a negative integer of, say, 3. What will happen here? Say suppose we are adding from this number 6, which is a positive integer. When we are adding a negative integer to it, it will be minus 1, 2 and 3. That is, it will come towards, say from 6, if we subtract 3, it will move towards left and we get the answer as 3. That is what it is said. When we add a negative integer, we move towards left. Now, this were about addition. Now let's move towards subtraction part. In subtraction, when we subtract a positive integer, we move towards left. Say for example, when we say that today the temperature was 2 degrees, but then it dropped down by 3 degrees. So what will happen? Here we have to subtract a positive integer. Means this temperature today was 2 degree and it got dropped down by 3 degrees. So here this 3 is a positive integer. So what will happen? The result will be ultimately minus 5 since it was dropped by 3 degrees. So here when we subtracted a positive integer, it moved towards left. In the same way, when we subtract a negative integer, we move towards right. Say suppose today the temperature was minus 5 degree and then it got subtracted with the negative integer. Say suppose it got reduced by minus 2 degree. So what happened is from minus 5 it got increased by to minus 2. So here what happened? The ultimate result will be minus 3 where we move towards right. So this is the basic fundamental statement which we need to understand, which we need to learn before doing the problems. Now let's see some important points which will make the integers easy to understand what we need to do when we do addition, when we do subtraction, when we do multiplication and when we do division. So first let's divide it. First let's see the part for the addition as well as the subtraction. The first and the most important point is when two positive integers are added, the result is a positive integer. Guys, this is really very important. When two positive integers are added, the result is positive integers. Say for example, 10 plus 20. Here both are positive integers. The result is 30, which is again a positive integer. So here, that's why it is said when two positive integers are added, the result is a positive integer. Now, in case of subtraction, when two negative integers are added, the result is a negative integer. That is, let's see the example. Say minus 20 plus minus 10. here both the integers are negative, but we are adding it. So what would be the result? When two negative integers are added, the result is a negative integer. So since there are two negative integers whom we are adding, the ultimate result will be minus 30. Because why is it 30 and why not minus 10? Because the sign given here is a addition sign and not a subtraction sign. So that is why it is said when two negative integers are added, the result is a negative integer. That is minus 20 plus minus 10, which is equals to minus 30. Now let's see the case where there is one positive integer and one negative integer. How to go about this? So in the case where there is one positive integer and one negative integer, say for example minus 20 plus 10, which means here minus 20 is a negative integer and 10 is a positive integer. So now how to calculate on this? The result will be minus 10. I'll explain you how and why. In this case, when one is a positive integer and one is a negative integer, what we need to do is we need to take their difference. We need to subtract it. Why? Because one is negative and one is positive. So we need to find the difference and then put the sign of a bigger number which it belongs. Say here, in this case, the number 20 is bigger than number 10 and the number 20 has a negative sign. That is why our answer would be the difference of 20 and 10 with the sign which belongs to the bigger number, that is a minus sign. Say in this case, if it was just the opposite, that is 20 plus minus 10. If this was the case, so here in this case where the bigger number is a positive integer and the smaller number is a negative integer, how to go about it? The result here will also be the difference of these two numbers, that is 10, but what sign will come here? Will it be a positive or a negative? Yes, it will be a positive sign. Reason being, the bigger number here has a positive sign and the number 10, which is a smaller number, has having a negative sign. And as I told you earlier, when there is one positive integer and one negative integer, we need to take their difference and put the sign of the bigger number. So since 20 is the bigger number here and since it has a positive sign, our answer would be the difference of these two with the sign of a bigger number. Now since it is a positive integer, you put a positive sign or you just write number 10, both are same. So these are the few important points which are very much important to know before we start doing the sums and the practice problems, right? I hope you guys understood this. Now after this important points, let's see a very simple thing which is additive inverse. This portion is over. It's just a simple topic which is called additive inverse. Now what is additive inverse? Additive inverse of any integer, say suppose additive inverse of 10 is minus 10, would just be the opposite thing. If there is a positive integer in a question, the additive inverse of that number will be a negative answer. Just the opposite, if it is a negative in the question, the additive inverse of this minus 10 would be a positive 10. In alphabets, say suppose the additive inverse of minus a is positive a, and similarly the additive inverse of positive a is minus a. So after all these things, this simple I think this simple thing, which was very easy to understand, very easy to learn, and made the things better. So I hope you guys understood this and it made it quite easy for you to understand. From tomorrow we'll start with the first exercise, that is the practice problem 1. So till that, I hope you guys revise it once and make it thorough, so that tomorrow whatever practice problem we start will be easy for you to understand and calculate. So if you like my channel, I would request you all to please like, subscribe and share, so that I can upload more and more videos and it is shared to more and more people. Thank you so much. Bye bye.